Alright, it is time for a little flash streaming on you guys. I'm going to flash my hot tits. Let's take a look at this bracket. So, we have Felkon versus King of the Dead in our first heat, followed by Flying Taco and then Enticity in our second heat. This will just kind of follow the same format as a Warpstone Cup. I figured this would be kind of fun, kill some time, have some good laughs with y'all. But what's up, Dacklemore? We got Krev in the house, we got Riverbank, we got Nirob the Clown, Ingve is in as well. Manga Lover. I almost said Man Glove Lover, which is not right. And Queek, what's up? Oh, Queef Head Taker, my bad. What's up, dude? Oh man, let's have some fun here today. We just got some fun little matches. Gonna enjoy some stuff. Don't make a go. Dennis, you know that's good advice. I don't know what it means, but I appreciate it. But to start us off here, we're going to be King of the Dead versus Felkon. And Felkon's going to be playing the Lizardmen versus King of the Dead's Vampire Counts. This should be pretty fun. Let me see if I can get a look at... Who banned who? So Felkon picked Lizard People and banned Tomb Kings and Vampirates, it looked like. You like that thumbnail there? What's up, Armand? Yeah, man, I'll answer your message in a bit, man. This is why I couldn't answer it. Nurgle bless you. Nurgle bless us all, bro. What's up, Norcars? No cars. All right, so let's go ahead and start this battle. Our first map is going to be Galbaraz. You can see our map seeds below.
Look at the sneaker voice glass cannon, don't you worry, precious. Well, let's take a look at the maps. For the best of threes, it's Galbaraz, Rakdo Ridge, and Praag. Then our finals...
Oh my god, it sucks to do it for a long time. You have to take little breaks.
And our finals are going to be Altdorf Outskirts, Karak Azgal, the Ember Glades, Spite Reach, and Mosquito Swamps.
That's going to be our matches here today. Hope you enjoy that. They're just loading in right now. We'll be able to see what their setups are going to be like. Dude, oh my god, I gotta get some water. It's actually not easy to do that, long term. Von Karstein, Ring of Vlad the Chad. Vlad the Chad. Okay. So, our armies are setting up here. Let's jump on over to this. We don't need my webcam for the battles. Let's go ahead and shut that off. Go ahead and take a look at what we got going here today. So, Felkon's army's got a nice mean pocket of Temple Guard. Look at this Death Star. 1, 2, 3 Temple Guard, followed by 2 units of Kroxigors, Sacred Kroxigors. Got the Sock'em Bopper launchers here. Take a look at these bad boys. One of the newer units added here. Of course, they bring that AP to the table. They've got that magic damage. They do unfortunately suffer from Rampage, but it is the new Rampage. As we can see here, it's got a charge bonus and melee attack, but they're a Rampage nonetheless. We're also going to be seeing, looks like just a Skink Priest of Beast with Transformation of Cat on and Flock of Doom. Oh, Nakai the Wanderer and the Vivification Crystal, as well as some Skink Skirmishers. Now, as far as King of the Dead goes, some zombies in his very front line, including the Tithe, a secondary line of skeletons, and then a tertiary line of... No, it's a secondary line of skeletons followed by a tertiary line of 3 Crypt Horrors, 2 Vargulfs, the Unholy Lodestone, Crypt's Cart, a Banshee, which is actually kind of cool here in this situation, because the Banshee, A is going to give Screaming Banner, but also, of course, look, you got the 75% physical resistance on it. So this should be pretty interesting to see. We're also going to see Von Karstein Vampire Lord, which has the Vargulf summon. Oh, no Vargulf summon. But Flock of Doom and the Storm of Night, which would be pretty fun here to see. Let's kind of see how this gets going here. We already see some skirmisher action, trying to get a little bit of plug here onto that Von Karstein Vampire Lord as he gets back into the air. Got some poison damage kind of falling onto him. The Hadab from the Skink Priests of Beasts going down as that as well. And for the most part, King of the Dead is just kind of waiting for this army to come down. Ooh, we got a good Pestilent Breath coming in here. Wading through. Looks like it misses the target. Just kind of hits into the Sacred Proxigors. Just actually, no, I think those were, yeah, those were the Temple Guard. Just a little bit. Just kind of clips him out. Got a Flock of Doom dropping on them. A lot of these armor units are all heavily armored, so the Flock of Doom is not going to be very effective. It's going to chip away just a little bit of damage here. Revivification Crystal already jumping down on the weakened, quote-unquote, portion of the Temple Guard. Getting some nice healing in. Varghulf's coming down, ready to do some Pound Town action going down. Look at them, dude. I love their just lopping wild gait. I don't know why they have hooves, but I've just given it to them. We're seeing things just kind of move in its fair stride over here. King of the Dead said, "Oh my God, Nakai!" Felkon just moving his whole army to the right here, trying to kind of wrap around, not want to get any good disadvantageous charges on him. You got these Varghulfs kind of moving around to the left as well, looking to get a good rear charge going on. But you see, the problem here is the Temple Guard are going to be able to really threaten back into those Varghulfs very handily. Anti-large and AP coming out of them. Revivification Crystal bombarding into these zombies here. Already got some action coming down here. Got these Skeleton Warriors leaping towards these Temple Guard. You got the Beasts in there as well. Everyone's going hog wild here at this very moment. Crypt Horrors coming in. Now, the Crypt Horrors should be good to do some AP damage out of stuff, but there's a lot of anti-large in this force. And also, on top of it, there's a lot of magic damage coming out, especially from the Sacred Croxigors. This will be able to threaten into the Banshee and pretty much the entire front line of the Vampire Counts. Flock of Doom dropping down. Ooh, what do we got going down here? Oh! Oh my God! I totally forgot that was the Engine of the Gods. Just dropping bombs on things, ripping through the tithe. I mean, of course, King of the Dead was able to respond, bring the Conic Giant Stalkers back out of the combat in just enough time to neutralize as much damage as he could, but that laser just dropping the bomb on things. Now, the rest of King of the Dead's army, look at this, is getting a good surround here in the back line, trying to jump in around the rest of Felkon's army. Varghulf's in great health right now. One of them's leadership is cracking. He is under a lot of pressure, and his health is starting to tank a little bit. Transformation of Kadon brings us a Feral Manticore onto the battlefield. And take a look at this here. We have that White King looking to just do some heroic killing blow action onto the Skink Priest. Responding Storm of Midnight dropping onto the Feral Manticore, but it looks like it can't lock him down into place just in time. Storm of Midnight, I thought it held things that are flying in the air. I'm going to check that real quick. Oh, it just says damage to them. It reduces their speed by 72%. Okay, that's right. So, dropping down even more Flocks of Doom here. Now, remember, both factions have Flock of Doom right now, so it's not going to be as advantageous against the Lizardmen, but it will for the Lizardmen, as the majority of this army is lightly armored with skeletons and zombies. You see the Skink Priest is kind of well surrounded here. He's got a Varghulf on him. The other one looking to try and make his way downtown and into it. Pestilent Breath dropping down onto a little bit of the Temple Guard action right here, getting some good Flock of Doom back onto them. 54 units left in that entire unit. Another charge down here from the Von Karstein Vampire Lord, trying to pop open this Skink Priest of Beasts. But there's some nice good shots available for another Engine of the Gods as soon as that recycle drops down. We can also see that another Cold Blood being dropped here onto the Temple Guard. They're pretty low in health right now. They're surrounded mainly by zombies. They do have some Crypt Horrors beating into them and a Banshee. But Nakai's over here. He's ready to just kind of swing that Club of Doom. Now, unfortunately, Nakai does not have any magic damage, so he's going to be just kind of swinging pretty wildly at that Banshee, doing as much damage as he can. They're trying to deal with these two Varghulfs. The Varghulfs have been doing a good job of kind of staying out of combat for long periods of time and trying to threaten single entities or any large creatures that they can. They're going to work better against the Sacred Croxigors than they are against the Temple Guard, just because the Temple Guard do have that anti-large. King Priest of Beasts trying to get out of this fight for the most part. Another transformation of Kadon, I believe, is coming down right now. Oh no, that was just a summon up of zombies from the Von Karstein Lord. We can also see too that Von Karstein Lord is about 50% health. I don't think he has an invocation of Nehek on him anywhere. No, he does. He has invocation on him. He can use that if he so sees fit. But we've seen a lot of winds of magic being thrown out from both sides. So I would not be surprised if both are hurting as far as winds of magic goes. One Vargulf is looking pretty low though. Oh, and it burst into flames from the Sacred Croc Sword. It's not flames at all. It just kind of dies. But still, nonetheless, other Vargulf coming in here onto the Skink Priest. You have got both the Vargulf and the White King and the Von Karstein all jumping in. The Von Karstein Vampire Lord looking to get out of this fight, though, to hopefully bring back some more charge bonus into this. Nakai the Wanderer doing just the ground pound on this White King, telling him, I don't care how old you are and what fucking god you worship, I'm going to just throw this giant-ass hammer at you. Come what may. Another Pestilent Breath ripping down here into the Sacred Croxagores, not doing too much damage here. Probably trying to aim at this low health unit of Temple Guard. Felkon in it to win it right now because he's just trying to kind of keep this entire pocket really solidified, not having anything kind of too far out in these scraggling portions. And King of the Dead has got a nice surround on him, but you're dealing with a way more elite pocket than King of the Dead's. Little zombie and skeleton horde. But a lot of these armies now they're starting to rampage. They're having low health issues. So we'll see how this happens. Primal Roar just kicked in now wearing off. That was giving a nice 22% physical resistance here. The Revivification Crystal trying to threaten into the Von Karstein Vampire Lord. And we can still see that Skink Priest of Beasts is alive and well. Charging now right into this Vargulf, accompanied with the Temple Guard, trying to bring down the big beastie there. Whew. Guys getting a good breath right there, and it looks like we're having some issues with that vampire front line. All of them starting to crumble, starting to have all sorts of problems. Von Karstein Lord swooping in and out of combat. Other Vargulf is now down as well, as it is plucked apart by these Temple Guard. Von Karstein Lord is pretty much one of the last things here. The Unholy Lodestone, though, is kind of riding dirty, saying, I'm still looking for some pinks. Nice invocation of Nehek and Miasma of Despair, both in conjunction dropped onto it, locking it down in place for that nice, good reduction to its speed. 24% and the bigger reduction as well. Got a good surround in there, trying to keep it on the ground. As soon as they pop that leadership for the Undead, it's going to be just a landslide, but I think it's a pretty foregone conclusion at this point. We can see, though, that Von Karstein Lord doesn't want to give up. He's just flying right back into the air. Another Beacon of the Gods coming down. I just love that shit. Ripping through the Tithe, actually. Man. And just leaving a nice little trail in the tube sock there, if you know what I'm trying to say. Von Karstein Lord doing as much charging as it can. Nakai is low. The Skink Priest is low. All of the Croxagores are low, but I think at this point it's just going to be a matter of kind of cleaning things up to see if once army losses kick in. Balance power bar is pretty firmly in the favor of the Lizardmen here. Banshee starting to waver just a little bit. And I think that is it. Crumbling is going on, army losses kicking in, and the disintegration is complete. Felkon pushes up 1-0 against King of the Dead here. And that was a fun little first one. I like that fight. They both brought these pretty fun characteristic fights here. This was just like a last minute little spur of the Engine of the Gods did pretty well. Let's see here. 311 kills across zombies and skeletons from the Engine of the God in conjunction with some Flock of Doom. So some awesome action out of that with Felkon, Skink Priest of Beasts. And see, again, he went with a really small elite force. He didn't really give his opponent too many options as far as what to focus on. Everything was a pretty good high-value target. Felkon's pretty good at that. He's like good at target saturation. King of the Dead, at the same time, he did very well as far as trying to break his force apart, get a good surround on Felkon. I think both armies worked out pretty well, and you can tell that both of them just kind of having some fun right now. This was, like I said, a pretty spur-of-the-moment little flash tournament I wanted to throw up for you guys rather than just playing some campaign. I figure this is pretty fun. Do keep in mind, guys, Turin and Loremaster of Sotek will be doing their head-to-head stream shortly after this, if not at the same time. You can expect to see that going up on both their channels as well. Oh, let's go ahead and fix that scoreboard in the meantime. Okay, this jumps up to 1. If he wakes... Dude, I'm not gonna lie, man. Lore Master of Sotek is the panda bear, dude. He sleeps. He sleeps like no one's business. When we were doing one of the Warpstone... Not Warpstone Cups. When we were doing one of the... what's it called? Everchosens. So Nick and I would wait... Or Turn and I would wake up. And Turn and I would go downstairs. Like, at the last place we stayed, there was like a nice, like, all-you-can-eat, like... English breakfast buffet, so it was like ho 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 ho. So Nick and I would just eat like fucking heathen kings, and then Party Elite would join us usually, or he would either wake up a little bit later. No, you can't. There's no calling him Banry. It doesn't work like that. But Sotek would usually wake up for breakfast, eat breakfast, and just hibernate for like 15 minutes until like call time. Like he was just the master of naps. And he'd be like, oh. Passed out there, like, yeah, man, we were kind of worried about you. Dude, tons of flashing going on. If you are getting some stuttering, go ahead and refresh the stream. I'm taking a look at all my stats over here. Everything's pretty good. No, he didn't sleep through it. He was pretty close, though. We were like, Sotek? Sotek? I think we went... Nick, didn't we, like, Didn't we kick his door? I think at one point we were actually, like, pounding and kicking on his door. Yeah, he'll sleep through calling easily. Rattled it, dude. Just... Oh, your sister's at battle. Nice, Flying Dutch. What'd you get? Man, I used to raid in Final Fantasy all the time. Every time they do a new expansion, I always raid it. I always raid, and then I'm always like, fuck. The only reason I keep my sub going on Final Fantasy is because I have a house in it. Yeah, I still have plenty of stuff to paint between my Blood Angels and my Sisters of Battle, so I'm not buying any more models right now. Man, every time I go to paint, though, today, or like in these last 2 weeks, I'm like... I sit down and I'm like, all right, I should do some painting. And I just kind of get like just stressed with all this shit. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go watch this fucking documentary about a guy owning like 5 million tigers. What server am I on? I think can't remember. I'll look it up in a bit. So it looks like King of the Dead went with Tomb Kings, his favorite faction, and then he banned both the Dark Elves and the High Elves. Good choices there. I know, Armand. You have to catch up, bro. Coral. We're on Coral. Armand and I play together. The story's awesome. I actually really dig the story in Final Fantasy. It's a lot of fun. They're just setting their armories up here. We're on, Dude, Keck, you have no idea how much game time I've played of World of Warcraft, Turn included. I still play my main character from my main warrior from back in the day. When Wrath came out, I rolled a Death Knight and didn't look back, but when I went back for the end of Legion, I decided, you know what, I'll bring Warrior back up and I'll play Fury, fuck it. And New World's going to be fun, I'm really excited about that. But I typed in like /played on my original Warrior that I started when the game first came out. I've bought every collector's edition of the game ever since it's been released. It has 145 days played. And I'm like, fuck. God damn it. I was fat. I used to play so much in fucking high school. Holy shit, so much. Oh man, guys. Yeah, dude, I mean, I rated Molten Core, I rated all that shit from the start. What's up, Magnus? How are you doing, dude? So Felkon is going to be playing Chaos here against King of the Dead's Tomb Kings. Felkon is ready. We're waiting for Tomb Kings to finish, or King of the Dead to finish up his build, and we'll be good to go. So I played not Battle for Middle Earth. Well, I also played that. It's a great game. I played Battle for Azeroth, and I was raiding, and we beat the raid, and then my guild kind of started to fall apart. How strong are your glasses? They're not real. They're blue light glasses. I get headaches sometimes. It's been kind of like overcast here in Southern California. So there's not a lot of light in my room because I'm used to having like tons of sun all the time. So it just has been hurting my eyes lately. But after like the guild fell apart, I was like, you know what? Battle for Azeroth's not that awesome. I can just kind of stop. But I've heard it's great now. I probably need glasses, but I'm too stubborn and don't want to get them. I'm doing okay, Carl. How are you, man? Everything okay with you? I'm doing well. I'm pumping my body full of vitamin C and fucking water. No, I didn't want to buy Gunner. These are Nectar, because these were like 20 or 30 bucks. I'm sorry to hear that, Carl, dude. I hope she gets better soon, man. A little rest up, drink fluids. Yeah, I hope she gets better soon, man. Do I think the Swordmaster should get a buff? No, I feel like they should kind of tweak the White Lions, if anything, maybe. I don't know, Mogwai. I've got Tabletop Simulator. We could give it a shot. I could do Idanet. Do you want to play Tabletop Simulator, Nick? I don't know how a three-way Age of Sigmar would go. We probably need a fourth person. All right. Swole Meisters of Huff Huff. I'm glad you like my videos, Carl. Thanks for tuning in too, my dude. All right, let's take a look at these armies. Ooh, Tomb Kings Tomb Kings. King of the Dead's got a fun army here. So let's take a look. We got a lot of Tomb Guard. 3 units of Tomb Guard, including the Kepra Guard. 2 units of Chariots. We have the Screaming Skull Catapult. 3 units of Spearmen, including King Nakesh's Scorpion Legion, as well as 2 Carrion, or 3 Carrion. 3 units of Carrion. We have a Necrotect. We have Arkin the Black with his Tomb Blade, Spirit Leech, as well as Fate of Buna. And we can also see the Bone Giant. First shot, launching it right into those Chaos Chariots. As far as Felkon's army, we've got some Feral Manticores. We have 2 Dragon Ogre Shaggoths. We have Archon the Everchosen, or the Never-Chosen, should I say. 2 Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes. That's going to help out a lot against any of those larger constructs. That AP damage from them is really going to chip away at them quickly. And a nice front line. It looks like a lot of Chaos Marauders. Nothing but Chaos Marauders, and then the Mirror Guard. So throwing axe is already going down. These are the normal chariots, not the Gore Beast chariots. Just trying to get some good damage right through this unit of Tomb Guard, just bulldozing through them. Screaming Skull Catapult, ripping down range, nailing, just missing these Mirror Guard. Woo! We can take a look at these Shaggoths. They're ready to do some serious damage to some big, disgusting creatures, including that Boner Giant. Screaming Skull Catapult, though, still launching down range, trying to get some plucking shots off there. The Screaming Skull Catapult has had an increase to its damage as of late. Chaos Chariot's already kind of losing out over here, and we saw one good Flaming Head. Unfortunately, I did miss it. I'm sorry, guys. Into the Kepra Guard, and it still did quite a bit of damage. Flaming Head usually does more damage to lightly armored units than heavily armored units, but the Tomb Guards still are not that heavily armored. Chariots rolling through these Marauders as they go to make their charge in. Shaggoth over there onto the Bone Giant, trying to do some damage. Necrotech jumping into this whole fight as well, looking to try and help and shore up the damage on some things. Archaon coming right over here for Big Daddy Arkin. He's got his Flaming Sword of Ruin down. He's got Stand or Die down. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. This was what I was looking for. He's got the Slayer King down is what I was looking for. Oh, thanks, Glass Cannon. Always a fact I forget is that the Kepler Guard do have regen, thus making them even more weak to fire than normal. Archaon just trying to chase down Arkin, trying to chase down Arkin. Jesus, Archaon trying to chase down Arkin the Black. Doing tons of damage here though to this Tomb Prince. Thought that was a Necrotech earlier. Archaon just kind of cleaving through him. Might as well get some damage into him if they can. But big thing here, these two Shaggoths are going to be able to do so much damage. There's not going to be a lot of anti-large against them. Boom! Right into Arkin there. A good charge. Knocks off just a little bit of health there. Staff and Nagash down, trying to get that recharge rate, get some better spells going right now. Probably some Nero's, or some Fit of Buna or another Spirit Leech going down. We'll see how that goes. The Marauders are not faring as well against the Tomb Guard, but that is to be expected. Chaos Chariots have come back in the back over here. Feral Manticore's online as well as both these Shaggoths. King of the Dead, though, kind of just saturating things with his chariots, trying to kind of reduce their mobility as best he can. Oh, man. Whew. Missing shot from that Bone Giant. It's on its last big, disgusting toe. Arkin getting chased again by Archaon. Like someone was saying earlier, the Benny Hill music going. Yakety Sax is off. He tries to just juke his way out of this mess. King of the Dead doing whatever he can to kind of just shuck and jive through this whole situation. You've got the Carrion diving down onto the Marauder Horsemen, and them just kind of getting out of this fight as well. Throwing axes, running wild yet again. Bone Giant just kind of plodding away from this whole mess. He's like, I don't want any part of this. Another Flaming Sword of Ruin dropping down, giving those magic attacks, giving those flaming attacks, increasing that AP damage and weapon strength, going across the entire, or missile damage, sorry, I thought it gave AP damage. And Shaggoth's just dropping bombs on Arkin the Black over here. The other one doing not as well, about a 50% health. It is dealing with some issues with the chariots and the spearmen. The chariots kind of acting... Oh! Just missing that Shaggoth. The chariots are doing a good job of just kind of adding mass to that whole entire charge and scenario, allowing the spearmen to get in there and try and pin it down a little bit more. Is out for bone meal. Ooh, chariot exploded right there. The next one looks like it's on its last wheel as Arkin runs away from the majority of this mess, summoning up some Ushabti to try and surround this Dragon Ogre Shaggoth and get some good AP damage into it. Bone Giant here getting swarmed. Oh, this is going to be brutal. King of the Dead trying to get out of this situation, can't quite move and fast enough. And we see Skeleton Warriors just exploding. The Kepler Guard getting swarmed in that as well. And then it ending over here on the Shaggoth and the Ushabti. Balance Power Bar is shifting in the favor of Felkon here. The, what did I almost call that? A flying horror. The Feral Manticore, about to run off, should hopefully come back here as Archon runs away from Archaon yet again. Drops down Liber Mortis here, giving him 44% physical resistance, and helps out with that leadership as well. The Bone Giant is not in good shape, though, getting pounded upon by that dirty, dirty Shaggoth. Feral Manticore coming back into this fight, though, looking to swoop down back onto the Bone Giant, do some more damage into it. Just put down the big, heavy-hitting, AP, anti-large, magic damage-dealing Bone Giant. The Bone Giant's pretty interesting, right? It was added as part of Skulls for Skulls Throne FLC some 2 years ago. And since then, it's kind of had circulation on Tomb King's builds back and forth. It's had parts where you can have two of them, and it's a really viable build for certain scenarios. And I think the Bone Giant, though, is still a really interesting and intriguing centerpiece unit for the Tomb Kings. Ooh, getting blown up. Remember, the Bone Giant never got a secondary release or final release for the Tomb King. So the Bone Giant that we see is actually kind of put together from artwork and a number of other things for the Tomb Kings. They had an older Bone Giant that never got an overhaul And the Bone Giant with the bow, I don't remember if it had a model or not, an updated model. So it's kind of cool to see certain things like that kind of get that creative assembly touch, where they get that jump up in quality and so on and so forth, coming into a digital format like Total War Warhammer. There we go. King of the Dead's army exploding under the weight of chaos. Archaon the Ever-Chosen coming right for that ass. Oh! Wolfing him down. No, Archaon! You were meant to live. There we go. Felkon winning 2-0 against King of the Dead and closing out our first of the heats of today. Jake said, wanted to say thanks for lore video, Sparty, helping me push through the gym workouts. No problem, Jake. I'm glad you're enjoying them, brother. King of the Dead had a really interesting army here. I think that Carrion are one of those things that they have their uses, but I almost never see them actually kind of coming to the fore. I never really see them really connecting in the way that I think that they should. I think that maybe it's just the fact that they're just too weak armor-wise or whatever it is. I just never really see them being ultimately that beneficial. But I like to play with the chariots. I like the Bone Giant, the Tomb Guards, going with a smaller, more elite force. Carrion never be carrying. And then the nice double Shaggoth from Felkon here. So let's jump on over to our second heat. Let's go ahead and set this all up. So give me a second here, guys. Let me get both of our other bros into the fight. All right, so we got Flying Taco and Enticity coming in. Felkon winning that. Winning that first heat, jumping into our finals here. Again, guys, this is just for fun, having a good time. Trying to kind of stem the tide of boredom for a lot of folk. Go ahead and fix the scoreboard in the glass cannon. It's got to be Total War Warhammer 3. They couldn't do 40k at this point. We need to get Boardwalk. Are you talking about Monopoly right now, man? All right, so please, you're gonna see on the screen, it's gonna be please don't. That is actually Flying Taco. It did, Mr. Jones. I would love for there to be like a gambling website that I could put this on. Got $20 on Flying Taco, yeah? Alright. Alright, they're doing their picks and bans here real quick, and we'll be getting going with our second heat of the day. Now, these are all best of threes. The second heat will be a best of 5, as always. So we'll see how that pans out. Flying Taco versus Enticity. It should be a good one. Anticity's been practicing a lot lately. I've been seeing him asking, hey, who wants to practice, who wants to practice, who wants to practice. So we'll see what goes on with that. Alright. Make or break a game of Monopoly for me. Yeah, the break it portion is you fucking throw the board across the room. Alright, so Flying Taco's going with the Tomb Kings, and he's going to ban the Dawi as well as Vampire Pirates, Vampire Coast. And Anticity's playing Norska. So a little bit of a mirror match from our last one, kind of, rather than Warriors Cast, we're going to be seeing Norska in this case. Yes, fewer quest items nowadays. They pulled people and they found that people don't want as many quest battles. What they were saying.
I've only begun.
Chris donating $5. Let me see what your message is. Sorry, my mom's messaging me. She's like, I can't find any fucking paper towels. Is King? Yeah, King won the King of the Hill. Let me see what you said in your message here. Crispy poo, crispy crispers, a little crispy shits. I don't think you're gonna like that nickname. All right, where is it? What is this? Some Monopoly money for you. Thank you very much, Crisps. Our first donation of the day. Like I said, guys, like I keep saying, I know it's trying times for everyone, so anytime anyone donates, it's fucking huge, guys. Like, I can't appreciate it enough. Like, the ad rates on YouTube have been very funky lately, so. Why Turn and I have been streaming our shafts off. Shit. Alright, so we're jumping into our map here. They're just loading in finally. We're going to see our two armies as they kind of get set up here. Remember, if you see Please Don't, that's Flying Taco. He's going to be playing the Tomb Kings over here on our right, as well as Enticity playing the Norskins on our left. Okay, you said tell your mom to use a sock. Okay, so in Redding, California, they had a huge sewage burst, like a line burst, because people were using shredded fucking t-shirts to wipe their ass. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Boom, Riverbank dropping 2 pounds on me. Num nums to pygmy. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate your donation. Taking a look here, front line of some Marauders from Enticity, supported by 2 lines, Norscan Ice Wolves, and then the Beasts of Tashnar. Now these guys do have anti-large, which is quite nice on them. And then when you take a look over here at the Norscan Ice Wolves, they have Frostbite. Lower unit count, but still, they can slow things down. Beasts of Tashnar can then threaten and screen out cavalry. They can't do a lot of damage to a heavy cav or anything like that, but they can do at least some heavy, or they can do some anti-large damage. 2 units of Famir Walkers, Famir Warriors, both with great weapons. Then 2 units of Marauder Berserkers, a Famir Balefiend, of course, to be expected, Flaming Sword of Ruin, Cascading Flame, Fire Cloak, as well as your Burning Skull, Big Daddy Throg, and then some Armored Skin Wolves in the back. Now, taking a look over here at Tomb Kings, we have a little bit of a Death Star going on. So a front line of Skeleton Warriors, oh, I thought those were Tomb Guard, to be totally honest, with some Spearmen in a defensive geometry around a Tomb Guard unit, and then the Casket of Souls back here. Now this thing has gotten a buff up recently, and it actually does quite a bit of damage. Arc in the Black on foot, a Necrotect, and then a Harrow Titan, as well as 2 units of Sepulchral Stalkers, one of them being the Eyes of the Desert. So let's see how this pans out here. One launch of the, we also have a unit of Carrion over here. The Casket of Souls, already coming down range and missing a little bit into these Marauder Berserkers, or maybe even, actually the Famir Stalkers have, I don't know why I thought they had stock, they do not. Oof! Nailing into those Marauders, not all making contact, but doing some damage into them nonetheless. That Casket of Souls will hit the Hero Titan in the back. Let's see if it happens. Watching these armies just kind of coalesce amongst one another. Norscan Ice Wolves probing the defense, looking for some shots over here. Love that. Now, the dangerous thing is that this entire geometry is very tight and condensed. So once the Norskins kind of make contact with it, they'll pretty much be pinning those skeletons in place. And a well-placed Flaming Skull can really do a lot of damage to this front line. These are only these are only Skeleton Warriors. There's only 1 unit of Tomb Guard. So the Flaming Head is really going to do a shit ton of damage if it is properly executed by Enticity. But Flying Taco is just kind of waiting things out, using his Casket of Souls, doing some damage to some high-value units. Actually, those are Marauder Champions, not Marauders that I thought they were. And just going for the heavier unit right now. The Sepulchral Stalkers do have a nice limited range here of 80 range, so they can at least shoot over this entire unit and do some AP damage to anything that they might need to. I think the Sepulchral Stalkers were mainly used to kind of combat any big mammoths or anything like that. Flaming Head, ripping down, getting ready to just jump right through these Skeleton Warriors. It's going to push back into Flying Taco's line of Skeleton Warriors that he can't quite move, but it just veers out of the way, and then dabbing right into those Skeleton Spearmen at the very end, not doing a ton of damage, but mulching up a good portion of these Skeleton Warriors. Livor Mortis coming down with that 44% physical resistance. You can see, look at the chunking damage from the Sepulchral Stalkers onto these Marauder Berserkers, in conjunction with that Fate of Buna. Getting those Skin Wolves jumping in here, looking to do some damage into these Skeleton Warriors. Get rid of this unit so that the Marauder Berserkers can jump into that squishy backline of Skeleton Spearmen. Already getting some damage, heavy damage from that Spirit Leech, and I think we actually, I missed a Burning Gaze from the Hero Titan onto the Balefiend, but we got to summon up from the Skeleton Warriors from Arc in the Black's Tomb Blade, and Throg is just knee deep in this one. He's going right for the Sepulchral Stalkers. He doesn't give a shit about these Tomb Guards, just knocking them all over the place. Oh man, we got a Casket of Souls dropping in. It looks like it did more damage to the Skeleton Warriors than anything else, to be totally honest. Another Burning Head is what it looks like coming down over here. Flying Taco responding, getting his Skeleton Spearman out of this way. It's going to roll right over that Casket of Souls. Not going to do a ton of damage to it. It is a single entity. Hounds of Tashnar found a little opening, jumping into these Skeleton Spearmen. Casket of Souls dropping a bomb over there onto those Marauders. And this front line over here is looking to push her really, really well. You can see the majority of it is all buckled, and it's going to be about just pushing forward and through this whole mess here. Using these Marauder Berserkers, jumping into that backline, getting the Hounds of Tashnar onto the Eyes of the Desert there. Good anti-large onto them as best as possible. Another Livor Mortis has been dropped as well, helping out with that physical resistance, as physical resistance and leadership. all across the Tomb King's army. Praag is battling out with the Hero Titan. He's also dealing with some damage from the Sepulchral Stalkers, but he's just jumping away from them and going right through, marching his way through this entire unit. Woo! Flying Taco's doing a really good job of not like panicking or overreacting here. He's kind of taking things out piecemeal, focusing on these Mist Stalkers over there, taking them down to 7 total units right now. The Casket of Souls just getting bludgeoned by Throg over here, though, and then a good summon up of some Ushabti, which are going to get a good wrap up on Throg and do some good AP damage to him. The Hero Titan is in actually pretty good health, too, getting a lot of good damage over here onto these Berserkers, just frying up some of these Famir as well. The Bale Fiend trying to get invested into this fight. He's pretty low on his health, only at around 629, looking to do some thunder damage. Oh no, is he terrified? Yeah, he's terrified. He should be coming back from that, hopefully, as he flees away a little bit. A late game play of Carrion swooping down onto these Marauders over here. Marauder Berserkers over into this section, trying to just do more damage to the Eyes of Desert. The Eyes of Desert are still in really good health, and the Casket of Souls was able to push out of this fight. They're doing a lot of AP damage onto this Throg over there. Whew. I actually didn't catch that, Papa Palpatine. Papa Palpatine mentioned a good Flaming Sword of Ruin to counter the Liber Mortis. I did not actually see that. Throg pushing over here. The balance power bar is shifting pretty well in the favor of the Norskins as in the Tomb Kings. The Tomb Kings. Liber Mortis down over here as well, kind of keeping this nice little pocket safe. This has got a lot of really good damage coming out of it. You got the Spearmen doing some anti-large. You got these Eyes of the Desert shooting tons of AP damage, and there it is, a win for Flying Taco in our second heat. Woo! I like that build. I like that defensive geometry for Flying Taco. I think Enticity, if he had gone with maybe more Berserkers or more Champions, I feel like he would have had the staying power. I feel like the Marauders weren't enough to allow him to kind of carry through the front line. The Sepulchral Stalkers did a very good job of chipping away at the high-value targets, right? The Mist Stalkers, your Armored Skin Wolves, your other familial warriors with great weapons, even Big Daddy Throg himself, and, of course, that Bale Fiend. So I feel like Flying Taco had a lot of really great ways to respond to all the things Enticity brought. A really great build on both their parts, though. Ooh, taco in a box. God, I have the fucking craving of cravings for Taco Bell. All right, 1-0 right now. Flying Taco pushing ahead, jumping over to our. Ooh, I was actually supposed to be. Change the map to Galbaraz. Sorry about the post. They actually just played Rakdo Ridge. They were supposed to be on Galbaraz. We shall see what happens. Alright, so Enticity said he'll play the Vampire Coast, ban the Dawi, and Empire. Nayar dropping €5 on me, saying hello from France. Italian Spartacus, and hello to the others too. Hello, Nayar. Hope you're doing well out there, man. I hope you're safe. Hope you're healthy. Dude, I don't know if you guys saw, like, Chipotle, you know, like every fucking company is sending out their email, how they're responding to this stuff, right? I don't know if you guys saw what Chipotle did. Like, it's pretty cool. They're giving hazard pay, immediate like time off if you are infected, like a lot of really just like grade A stuff. They increased all the wage and all their employees that are still working. So it's just like, oh, that's a cool response, a very cool, transparent response at least. Chipotle, like, yeah, it's delivery for Chipotle. Chipotle too. But again, I missed the whole turn. No, you didn't miss anything, dog. You haven't missed a damn thing. We're on the second heat, brother. All right, we're jumping into our map. And again, Nayar, thank you very much, man. I know you're, I know you're kind of in lockdown over there like all of us, so I really appreciate it, man. Anytime you guys donate is huge, especially right now. So, I mean, I know I kind of say that a lot, but it does mean a lot to me. So I really do appreciate it. So I want to constantly convey that. I don't want to be like, yeah, sick, got it. Like... All right. So our forces are assembling. Well, we'll go over here to the Vampire Coast because they're a little bit more equipped right now. So it should be a pretty interesting matchup. The Vampire Coast have a lot of really strong things against the High Elves. The High Elves do, with the inclusion of stuff like the Sisters of Avalorn and a number of other things, like their archers with keeping a lot of their units at range, do have a lot of answers back, though, at the Vampire Coast. So we'll see how this pans out. Enticity has gone with a nice staggered line of deckhands in the front with 4 total units of bombers. Now, those bombers are going to be very devastating for any portion of the High Elf front line. Supported with 2 units of Mourngulls, then 2 units of mortars, as well as 3 units of handguns and 2 units of scurvy dogs. Now, looks like we're going to be seeing Luther Harkin over there, cackling his way into the midnight. And he's just going to have his Hornswaggle on him, hunger, all the kind of usual action, and a vampire fleet captain of vampires with raised or drowned dead, I guess you could say, and the invocation of heck. Now, for Flying Taco, we are going to see a lot of cav. 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Illyrian Reavers. Now, the reason he went with Illyrian Reavers is you don't really need extremely durable cav against the majority of the Vampire Coast. The only thing that's really going to benefit, I guess you could say, is like Silverhelms or Dragon Princes against Depth Guard. The Illyrian Reavers are going to be able to be mobile. They're going to threaten any element of the front line as far as the zombies go, so they'll be able to do quite a bit. Then, sorry, I was making sure that we're going. We're going to see a staggered front line. 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Lothern Seaguard with 4 archers. That's going to be pretty nice because it's going to bring a lot of anti-large. They're going to be able to defend each other with the Lothern Seaguard as far as any summons into them. Then we also see Eagleclaw Bolt Throwers, which are good at picking off individual, what's it called? What are these called? Artillery pieces. Then also, is that a Sun Dragon? That is a Sun Dragon. So we'll see how this pans out. The big thing is going to be making sure that Flying Taco can keep these Illyrian Reavers mobile and constantly threatening the force of Enticity. Those Illyrian Reavers are not the most durable thing. I said that they don't need to be the most durable thing, but they also can't get swarmed. If they get swarmed, they'll get brought down pretty quickly. Mortars are going to be pretty useful in this case too, because you have nice dense lines of High Elves. Nice target here by Flying Taco. He's already shooting into the bombers. He knows that those things are going to do the most damage to him in the shortest amount of time. He's getting a lot of really good damage onto them now. Oof, a nice mortar hit. That was only 1 hit. Just splashes into the archers, ripping tons of damage into them. That's probably the first mortar hit I've actually seen connect here today. The mortars are going to be a little bit more inaccurate in general, but oof. Double smash onto them, doing some damage. The archers kind of reinforcing their lines by plucking into one another. We have a line of zombie pirate gunnery mobs being summoned up here, looking to shoot into these these High Elf spearmen. And I'd say the big struggle here is that Flying Taco has to keep his force somewhat mobile with his firing line, or else those mortars are going to be able to just pick it apart. He's pushing his Eagleclaw Bolt Thrower and his archers into this vampire fleet captain. This is going to shut down all of the casting of the army, and I think it's a pretty good, nice power play in their beginning, trying to kind of neutralize that portion of it, or at least force him to use his own winds of magic on himself. Ooh, a net down. A net of Amontok? Who's the caster? Ah, Teclis. Sorry, I didn't even focus on that part. Teclis has got Net Bomb Attack as well as Enfeebling Foe and Regrowth, guys. So, pouring tons of damage now onto the Vampire Fleet Admiral. We can see that the Zombie Pirate deckhands are just moving right into it. I don't know if Flying Taco doesn't see it, or if he's just trying to draw a noose here, or just waiting for them to kind of disappear on their own. Mourngulls and the Scurvy Dogs get a little catch out here, shutting down one whole unit of Illyrian Reavers and jumping into another one. They're trying to get out of this fight, though, quickly. The Sun Dragon dropping some flames down onto the Mourngulls, not getting very much damage out of them, though. And another unit of Illyrian Reavers is threatened pretty handedly. In the back line here, we can see that these Lothern Sea Guard are being helped out by those Spearmen, and another unit of not Lothern Illyrian Reavers, but Illyrian Reavers is shut down over here. So right now, it's becoming a heavy ranged game for both factions. Flying Taco is using his archers as best he can, but they're just being pulled apart now by some of the mortar action and some of the summons. Sun Dragon over here with the Illyrian Reavers. We have Luther Harkin jumping into this as well, trying to shut down one of the bigger portions of this force. Hornswaggle is knocked onto it, slowing it down, reducing its armor and its melee defense. You can see, look at that bomber just doing damage over here to these archers, even with light armor on. Regrowth dropping onto the Sun Dragon, trying to kind of stabilize it just a little bit here, but oof. Archers trying to find some good shots here. Where are our Eagle Claw bolt throwers? What are they doing? That Vampire Fleet Admiral is now chasing off some Illyrian Reaver archers, which are able to respond to the back line charge, shutting down some Mourngulls over here, getting some good damage into them. It's just kind of paving the way, though, for this two-pronged little pack here of both bombers and deckhands pushing in, looking to do some serious damage over here. More bombers ripping through these spearmen over here on the midfield. I think that's what I meant to say. The balanced power bar is not looking too great for Flying Taco. He's starting to lose some steam here. He's lost his Illyrian Reavers for the most part. He's got some battered units here, and one that might just be coming back over there. Another one is already completely killed, but the mortars are unmitigated and just shooting this entire time. Another unit of archers is being brought down. They're trying to get some nice arrows into these bombers, but they are just still chunking out all of these units that they come across. And the big thing is that they're not completely being threatened by anything really. Sure, the archers are bringing them down, but the bows just aren't lasting. Handgunners, though, shooting into this Sun Dragon. Now, at this extreme range, it is a little bit harder for them to hit, and in general, they have lower accuracy, but they're still able to do some damage to that Sun Dragon. Mortar blast into that Lothern Sea Guard. More handgunners action, just finishing off those spearmen over there. Illyrian Reavers coming back over here, trying to help out in this pocket. You got the Sun Dragon who's dropped down, getting a regrowth on him, trying to help out against those Mourngulls. You've got more bomber action still. I think at this point, though, Flying Taco just has lost all the tools of his army. The Sun Dragon's going down now at this point, and the balanced power bar is shifting pretty wildly in the favor of Enticity. So it's probably gonna be a 1-1 match. We're gonna go to a rubber band here as I chug water and lubricate my throat. Oof! Look at those bombers just ripping into those archers over there. And right now, we have blinking flags across the High Elf front line. Army losses are just a matter of time before they kick in. Teclis is over there, just duking it out with some Mourngulls. I think the big thing here is that the Reavers were used defensively, and I understand why, right? They were used to kind of shut down Mourngulls and Scurvy Dogs, and I think that because of that, the Reavers were killed piecemeal. They were not able to be used all at once to have like a four-way sweeping attack through the backline, which would have pulled apart Anticity's micro. I think had Flying Taco put that pressure in the backline, he would have been able to then mitigate some of the micro being used on the front line against him so aggressively. The aggression from Enticity was because he didn't have anything in the flanks or backline really threatening him. Flying Taco played that a little defensively, and I think that's what ultimately kind of spelled his doom. I did like his build. I think it had a lot of promise there. Those mortars are just able to chunk shit apart, man. All right, let's take a look at that last map. It is Prague. What's up, Ignice? Fix that scoreboard. Enticity has been in Turin's ECL. I don't know about Rubber Duck's King of the Hill, but he's also been in my Warpstone Cup. So he's been around. He's definitely making the rounds now. Jump back over to that bracket. Let's see what happens on our final map of Prague here. The winner of this fight will go on to face Felkon in the finals, which, depending on the person, might just be a clarifying prospect. Stretch my shoulder. I don't understand that. Ben Laster, what you said. Thoughts on people who say not to make the old world too fantastical. So, guys, you got to understand, like, the chronology of fantasy. It starts with Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is, like, the primogenitor of, like, fantasy fiction, right? And then Dungeons and Dragons has started, and Warhammer Fantasy has started a year, if not one, maybe a year after Dungeons and Dragons comes out. So, that might be like still a little wrong, but Warhammer Fantasy is one of the first high fantasy anythings. I don't know why people are kind of like stuck in this, like, well, it kind of breaks. It's too high fantasy for me. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean, man? Like, you have people writing demogryphs and hippogriphs, and you have wizards with colleges of magic, and then you've got steam tanks, and then you've got rat people all throughout the old world, and you have Sylvania, which is a land of the undead. So it's really, really, really weird to me that that people are kind of like a little up in arms against like the Ice Guard. Like, oh, it seems like too fantastical of a touch to Kislev. I'm like, what about Ice Witches and Ice Wizards and the whole fact that you have Bear Cav? And yeah, I get that Kislev is maybe a little bit more grounded of a force, but not that much. I think it's fucking awesome. Yeah, Warhammer Fantasy is the highest form of fantasy next to Lord of the Rings and D&D. Low fantasy means that you have very minimal magic and most things are grounded. Like, Game of Thrones is considered low fantasy, even though it's got dragons and it's got, of course, like this horde of like undead things. For the most part, it is low fantasy into the latter books. Then it becomes that kind of like, oh, there might be a little bit more to this, but. I'm just kind of really, like, I don't know where the whole thing came from. It kind of blindsided me when people are kind of saying that. Yeah, Banry, that's like the big thing with Kislev's Ice Guard. It's like, people are like, this is too fantasy for me. Yeah, exactly, Ben. I mean, like, you're like, what? This is pretty high fantasy. I could agree, like, the aesthetic maybe is a little bit different. Yeah, exactly, right? Like high elves, wood elves, dark elves, chaos gods, like we're kind of there. Skaven, Lizardmen, Slawn, Orcs. Is magic rare in Warhammer? I don't think it is, man. All right, so it looks like Taco is picking chaos and banning vampire counts, and the Dawi are being chosen by Ent. Yeah, right. I agree. I agree. Magic is everywhere. What do I prefer? World of Warcraft orcs or Warhammer orcs? That's a good question, Krev. I think I kind of like the civilized nature of World of Warcraft orcs. But I think that I think a black orc is pretty beefy. Like some of the older illustrations of how big black orcs are in comparison to humans is pretty scary. Okay. I'll take that, Crisps. I'll allow it. All right, both of them are ready to go. You know what? Like, I really enjoy. Like, the thing I don't like about Warhammer orcs is that the narrative, like, there isn't like a narrative of them. They just kind of like, you know, it's just like, wow, we is the best, and it's like that's cool from an antagonist standpoint, but World of Warcraft orcs can be protagonists because they're, you know, they've civilized, they've got culture, they've got these different clans, and these clans mean a lot, and there's a lot of pride and honor amongst them. Like, and it's not to say that Warhammer orcs don't, but I just think that the approach to World of Warcraft orcs is a little bit more intriguing to me. Like, I also kind of like the somber, like a deep voice, like orc of Warhammer or World of Warcraft. And I kind of like that the orcs of World of Warcraft have like a language that is like interlaced. Right. They're setting their forces up here today. Let's take a look, yeah? So, take a look at Flying Taco's army. And this is versus the Dawi. We're going to see a lot of Chaos foot soldiers. So, Chaos warriors with great weapons aplenty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total ones of them. With 3 Chaos Marauders. We're going to see 2 Chaos Chariots here. Star Thoriel, the Everwatcher, the KFC Bucket Lord himself, as well as 2 Feral Manticores. The Bucket Lord probably have final chance. Okay, so it looks like we're going to see Plague of Rust, as well as Searing Doom and Scroll of Power. Then, for Enticity, we're going to see a front line of Longbeards, and with great weapons. The Norgrimling Ironbreakers in the mid line here. Some Dragonback Slayers, some 2 units of Thunderers, some Miners with blasting, or just 2 units of Miners with blasting charges, and then a bit of an Air Force. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, Brimstone Gun gyrocopters. These are going to be anti-large, they're going to be AP, they're going to threaten any kind of Shaggoths or Kolek, anything that you'd get that's bigger, larger, and disgusting from this line. Now, there's not a lot that's going to be able to, I mean, there's very little that's going to be able to threaten them from the Chaos line right now. There's not a lot of Horse Masters on the board. But as long as they can really press against this dwarf army fast and break it, it's going to force these guys onto the ground. The big problem here is that they've got with a nice elite front line. These are long beards with Norgrimling Ironbreakers and some Thunderers. So Enticity might be in a better situation here than Flying Taco, who doesn't really have the range potential to shut down any of these Brimstone guns. Of course, though, 4 units of Brimstone guns are going to be used up in the air. Magic is not rare for Lizardmen. Okay, armies kind of moving towards each other. Thunder is already getting some shots here onto these chariots. You can see the Brimstone guns are firing on them as well. Anti-large and AP on them. Trying to just kind of pop those things. Chariots, as always, have been the bane of many a dwarf. Now, Marauders eating up this first wave of blasting charges. That's a good shot there for Flying Taco. He doesn't need Marauders, really. Sarthorio, though, going right for these Thunderers with the Plague of Rust. And then look at this. The trap has been sprung. Dragonback Slayers countercharging him and going to wrap around on that fast. Sarthorio having to pull out of that scenario quickly. Does not want to get caught up with those guys at all. Now, the Miners with Blasting Charges getting charged by Sarthorio, as well as some Chariots riding dirty through them. And the Marauders are going to go after these Thunderers, which is a good call over there. Now, Miners with Blasting Charges ripping again into some Chaos Marauders over here. And we can see the Norgrimling Ironbreakers got some shots down onto these Chaos Warriors with great weapons. But for the most part, they are just mulching through these Longbeards so well. Like, take a look at this. 38 weapon strength. They got AP coming out of them. How much AP? Well, 28 to be exact. So they're going to be doing so much damage here to these Longbeards. Jumping right here onto a Rune Lord. Trying to do damage onto him. That Chaos Chariot running right through that into the Norgrimling Ironbreakers. Now, one chariot is already down. So we'll see how this kind of goes. But, like I was saying, they've already shut down 2 units of Longbeards with great weapons. They have to shut down this one, and it'll be pretty much just the Norgrimling Ironbreakers. Now, this unit of Chaos... Oh, these are Chosen with great weapons. I'm sorry, guys. Got some Chosen with great weapons in the 4 there. Fighting their way to victory. Some more Chosen with great weapons over here as well. I apologize for that. The symbol didn't change. Yeah, look at this guy just getting chucked apart too. Oh, eating into those Thunderers. The Thunderers are so far back now, they can't do much to help out. Sarthoriel, again, chasing back more into these Thunderers over here. This chariot over here in pretty bad shape, but these guys get knocked apart by the Norgrimling Ironbreakers, by the Rune Lord reinforcing them. They have some help too from the Brimstone guns. A Plague of Rust Plague of Rust dropping, as well as Searing Doom dropping into this whole pocket, reducing that armor by 60. An overcasted Plague of Rust bringing it down to 65. Now Sarthoriel is jumping into that fight as well, and they're going to be helped out with some more units of Chaos Warriors with great weapons and a Chosen. This is going to be a pretty hard fight now for Enticity. Yeah, sure, he does have the Brimstone guns, but they're going to have to land here pretty soon, as both the Miners over here are starting to flee out, and this one unit of Thunderers needs to be dealt with before it requires the rest of the army to now land and deal with stuff on foot. Rune Lord is surrounded by a lot of AP right now. Shots going into Sarthoriel from the Thunderers, downrange over here. They're pretty much unopposed though, which is pretty good for Enticity. Flying Taco does need to deal with them. He's dealing with these Thunderers kind of... Oh, I'm sorry, with these Miners with Blasting Charges, getting some good charges or chucks onto these Chaos Marauders over here. And then look at that little guy. Little Chaos Feral Manticore. Looking to drop on some stuff, do some damage here. Sarthoriel is so hungry. Whoa, whoa. The Chaos Warriors all jumping in on this here. Got the Norgrimling Norgrimling Ironbreakers. Still just kind of dealing with some action. They got some bombs dropping down here from the Brimstone guns. They're almost out of ammunition, and the other unit of Chosen with Great Weapons is wheeling on this force over here to help do some damage. The Dragonback Slayers have stayed in this fight for a long time, trying to kind of shore up and do some damage into this Feral Manticore. And the nice thing, too, about this situation here is the Rune Lord does... is that Wrath and Ruin, I believe? I think the square circle of Wrath and Ruin. Yeah. Master Wrath and Ruin. So that's not going to be as advantageous here, but the Norgrimling Ironbreakers have 125 armor, 82 melee defense right now. So they are going to be very hard to hit. And the nice AP from those Chosen are going to be obviously very advantageous, but that melee defense is going to keep them there for a long time. Long time. Arthoriel is in bad shape too. He's just gotten caught up here by some Dragonback Slayers. We can just get melted apart there by the Searing Doom. And the Brimstone guns are just shooting wildly into him. Look at his health just getting tanked apart. Master Wrath and Ruin slowing him down here at the last minute. Got a 1200 health left. And they're trying to kind of finish off this horde in this last minute. There are still quite a lot of Chaos units left on the field, but taking out the leadership of any Chaos force is pretty disadvantageous, obviously. In addition to that, that's also the casting portion of the Chaos force being shut down. Flying Taco trying to just put the nail in the coffin here, shutting down the Rune Lord, who's starting to break. Are we getting army losses? We're almost there. Oof, a nice bombing run there. Drop it onto those warriors and those Chosen. I think the rest of the... Oh, there's still some Thunderers over here dealing with some Marauders. So Arthoriel is trying to use the trees to his advantage as best he can. I mean, he's down to 268 health, so he's at least kind of wading through some of their ammunition. These warriors are chasing down the Rune Lord. It's 32 speed versus 28. Who's going to win? Arthoriel is just taking their shots in the mouth. The beak is getting peppered, and Sarthoriel is done. Put that goose in the oven. Now a charge right here onto this Chaos Warrior with Great Weapons allows them to break because they just lost their Lord. Had a little bit of leadership issues right there, and we'll see who won this. I'm pretty sure we all know who did. And bam! A valiant defeat by the Dwarfs, holding on to the bitter end there. But Flying Taco wins and pulls ahead 2-1 against Enticity, pushing him into the finals against Big Daddy Felkon. So a great build on both these parts here. I like the kind of centered elite of the Longbeards, but I think the Longbeards just really couldn't hold up. I think had there been more Ironbreakers, I think Anticity's force would have been able to kind of hold the line a little bit longer for the Brimstone guns to do more damage, especially to Sarthoriel. They were able to kill him by the end of the day, you know? So let's get Felkon back into this fight. And we will jump into the big one. The finals. The best of 5. The fuck is Felkon? There he is. Alright, so let's jump back over here. Actually, let me board real quick. We're already on this screen. Bracket. We're going to be seeing Flying Taco over there. Go. We got 250 you bros tuning in here today, guys. Make sure you are liking the stream. Those do help out a ton, more so than you would think, actually. And our first map is going to be Altdorf Outskirts. Go ahead and switch to that. All right, some XMT action going down here. They're going to be switching off. They're going to do a best of 5 here right now. Give me 1 sec. I'm just going to go ahead and use the restroom while they decide on their picks and bans and their armies on Altdorf Outskirts. This is our finals, and this is a best of 5, guys. Thank you again so much for watching here today. We have plenty more. We have 5 more fights, hopefully, in store for you. Don't forget to like that stream. And to anyone who has donated so far, thank you all very much for your donations. I really, really appreciate it. Trying times right now. We'll be right back. 1 second. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that, Lord Krevnar. Lord Krevnar said, you know what grinds my gears? When someone thinks that StarCraft races beat their 40k. I'd say that the Tyranids kind of outclass the Zerg in every way possible. The Protoss, I'd say, would be at least somewhat hard-pressed against the Eldar, but at least the Eldar have tons of psychic powers. And then they've got all their aspect warriors. Yeah, exactly, Anthony. Alright, so Felkon picks Wood Elves and bans Tomb Kings and Bretonnia. And so Flying Taco selects the Empire. A fitting map here for Altdorf, Outskirts. Of course, Altdorf, the home of the Empire. There aren't too many engagements where the Wood Elves would fight the Empire unless the Wood Elves find a particular need to fight against them if they come around any of their borders, especially like the Lower Lorne Elves, North and Nordland. But they actually have a pretty long-lasting, what's it called? Treaty with the other humans in the area. A peace, as it were. wouldn't be so sure. I saw an Empire peasant chopping a tree once. Oh, dude, that guy got fucked up, I'll tell you. I mean, I wouldn't be worried about the Wood Elves at that point. I'd be worried about the Beastmen. The Drakvald Forest just kind of like, bah, coming out of nowhere. Alright, so we're jumping into our first match of the finals here. Hello, France. Here's a hello from America. Back to you. That peasant was vaulting. Oh shit! that guy turned into something serious. The Herald of Sigma. Excuse me, guys. Well, good to hear, Cedric. Thank you very much for joining in, man. What is your least favorite race to play, and will you make a campaign just to give a second chance? It's Greenskins. They are. So I would wait. If Greenskins did their rework as the next one, that would probably be the one I would play. But if it's High Elves and Greenskins, I'm gonna play Eltharion. He's my favorite. If it is indeed, of course, Eltharion. He's my favorite character in next to Anarion, so I would play Eltharion. But guys, do keep in mind, if you're at home, if you're bored and you wanna watch more streams after this, or at least probably even towards the end of it, Turin and Loremaster of Sotek will be doing their head-to-head as soon as Loremaster of Sotek wakes up. So you can see that kind of going down when that starts. Let's take a look at these armies here. So we can see lots of Dryads from Felkon. He has gone with a up-in-the-face vanguard of tons of Dryads, branch wraiths, Sisters of the Thorn. He's up in that grill. This is not a ranged army. This is entirely melee. And this is something that Felkon's actually kind of coached me in, is going with a very melee-centric Wood Elf army, because Wood Elves actually have a very strong amount of frontline units, and Dryads are going to be able to cause fear. They go through fear, immune to psychology, and they have physical resistance. So, not a lot of the front line of the Empire is going to be able to do much against it. Now, taking a look at the Empire, though, we can see the Reichsguard. Oh, man, already this is going to be going down. 2 units of Pistoliers, more Empire Knights. Reichsguard are just going to get jumped on. Swarmed right over here. I'd say Felkon was pretty lucky in his pick over there. You got the Wild Riders, and he's got these Dryads all in the situation, and he's pushing hard already. Now, what Flying Taco has going for him is that he positioned himself on this side of the map. So, the forest, he knew would be advantageous for Felkon. He knew that it'd be getting a lot of buffs in that forest, so he did not play into that hand, and instead, he's able to kind of use this distance now to pepper the remainder of Felkon's army. It does rely a little bit on some surprise attack. So 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun, which are going to go very well against a lot of stuff going down here. There's a lot of physical resistance on the Wild Riders from their woads, and they're not going to be able to get that from that nice flaming damage coming out from these guys. Now we're going to see 2 units of archers, Empire Knights as well, and then some more spearmen. So let's jump back over here to this fight. Branch Wraith, look at the Branch Wraith just wildly running like he's just fucking crazy. He's like, give me your toilet paper, give me your goddamn toilet paper. He's just running all over the place, getting shot up by some Pistoliers. Branch Wraith does have Call of the Wild, which I think is 6 melee attack. Call of the Woods, 5 melee attack, sorry. Mortally challenged. Lord Krevnar pulling a Doom Eternal callback right now. Alright, got a drop down already, getting some Earth Blood. Healing back up onto these Sisters of Thorn over here. Now the real fight is going to get started here. These Wild Riders do have a nice big ability to flank over on the right side, but there's quite a bit waiting for them. So they got to be a little strategic here. Wild Riders right to the front into these Sigmar Suns, just bucking them wildly with their wild antler deer moose creations. Karl Franz here in the thick of things with these Dryads, coming down with some more action in from these Wild Riders, which just at the last minute buck over here to the Knights of the Blazing Sun, meeting their charge, taking the charge, then immediately getting out of it. Felkon just using that micro ability pretty well to jump out of those big fights. Flying Taco, though, he's not too worried. He's responding well to all these threats. He's plugging up these holes with these Empire Knights, with these Empire... Ooh! Noxious Breath jumping down onto the Sigmar Suns, knocking tons of damage out of them. Now this is the Glade Lord. This is the one with the Helm of Discord, not Prayavanath Rama. So we'll see how this is gonna help out in this engagement here. Karl Franz, the Dryads are indeed thick. Karl Franz over here though, just kind of waiting about, jumping into these Wild Riders, supporting these Empire Knights over here, which are trying to make way through these Dryads. The Archers are going to be good in this situation because the Dryads don't have the most armor. They do have 60 armor, but no real missile defense. They're going to have that physical resistance, which is going to negate some of that damage there. Look at this fight going down over here. Dropping down that Helm of Discord, but the Curse of Anriar as well onto these Knights of the Blazing Sun. Wading through them. Look at that, chipping into them. A nice... excuse me. Also a nice Flock of Doom jumping down as well, as these Wild Riders just kind of mop up this whole portion over here. Now, there are two more units, one Empire Knight and Knights of the Blazing Sun with a summoned up Feral Manticore. You do have to kind of watch that ass a little bit over there. Now plenty of Dryads and Wild Riders over here as they've just dealt with a lot of the infantry line of the Empire as it flees over in that direction, and it's pushing now over this direction towards Karl Franz and this Archer line, as well as that Caster of Beasts. It's actually Boris? Oh, it is Boris Todbringer. Damn, I saw it and thought it was Franzia. But he does have the Midland Rinfang, allow him to regenerate health here, since there is no healing in this army. Dropping bows right there on that Boris Todbringer again, chunking out a good amount of damage on him. That Pestilent Breath went directly down and on him. He was able to do tons and tons of damage, then swooping down. I believe the Helm of Discord is probably on recycle right now, but they've swarmed around. That army loss is kicking in, and bam. All right, so taking a look here, we've got some Dryads that have did well in this engagement. I think that they really were strong against the Empire. They caused fear. They were immune to psychology. They had a good amount of armor on them too, and their physical resistance allowed them to really kind of deal with this fight in a great way. Now, the Knights of the Blazing Sun, well, I think a really good pick in this situation, were not able to really get off the ground. They were swarmed quickly by Felkon. He saw them as a threat, and he shut them down quickly. So as a whole, oh, I didn't even see these guys, the Wardens of Scythe Thrall. Didn't even see the Wildwood Rangers in there. But as a whole, a great first match here. Let's jump on over to our second one. It's going to be on the map Karak Azgal. Go ahead and swap that up around. Taco. Oh no, that. I'll comment. Hey, Cincinnati dropping in. Spoken like a true Californian. Derelique Moose Man Bear Pig creation with antlers. Fearsome. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for keeping us alive from COVID boredom. No problem, man. Thank you very much, man, for your $20 donation. Cincinnati dropping a bomb on me. Really appreciate that, man. Cincinnati, aren't you work in healthcare, don't you? Typhos, what's up, man? But thank you very, very much, Cincinnati. Always dropping in with the big old donation bombs here and there. I really appreciate it, man. Dude, Man Bear Pig. I think one of my favorite skits from South Park is like the Ammo Bammo Man. Best of 5. Best of 5 indeed. We got up to 4 more games. That used to be a pretty funny thing where my Uber code? Get out of here. When I was working at GameStop, there was one guy who turned me on to the whole Ammo Bammo Man skit, and that was just, we'd always be saying it all the time. All the fucking time. He's strong. He's active. Ammo Bammo Man. That's actually pretty cool, Goblin. I'm so lazy I have a mod to let the AI fight for me. I just like to watch. All right, so Flying Taco chose the Tomb Kings, then banned Vampire Counts and Empire, and Felkon chose Avalorn. Flying Dutchman dropping €5 on me too. Oh, whoops. Sorry, guys. How do you pronounce Felkon's name? Felkon. It's just Felkon. He's Russian. He lives in Moscow. Flying Dutchman, thank you very much for your €5, my bro. Some support in these times. Again, guys, I really, really appreciate it. Cincinnati, Flying Dutchman. Let me just get the whole name. Crisps. I know you donated too. Nayar, Riverbank. Thank you guys all very, very much. I really, really appreciate it, guys. Really, really appreciate it. I'm choked up. You know, Locknot, I think we're all kind of taking it a day at a time, and that's all you can do, guys. Yo, I got a 12-pack. A 12-pack in the back. You guys want to score? You guys want to score a square? Cut that shit up into ace, motherfucker. Mel Garrettson, if you do want to do a donation, there is a link. The very top link should say use this link for donations. Click that and you can use PayPal and it'll still go through the stream and everything. Oh, lacrosse ball. Oh, what's up, Garland Green? Yes, Mel, it's an option in that link. Thank you, man. Oh, God. Whew. Yeah, I'll be honest. It's kind of gotten. I think a lot of people are kind of coming to terms with the fact that we're locked down and quarantined and all that stuff. So, just everyone just be good. Stay at home. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't look at the news. Fuck's sake, don't look at the fucking news. Unless you want to have a panic attack. I don't look at the news at all, and I feel way better about it. Message friends, call friends, reach out to people, you know. Anytime you kind of feel yourself freaking out, call like 1 or 2 people. Say hi, see what they're doing. Get your brain in a different headspace, you know. Paint models, read books, watch lore videos. I'll be streaming again tomorrow. We'll be playing some more Doom Eternal. Turin and Lore Master Sotek are going to be streaming again after this, so got plenty of content for you guys coming out too. We'll be plugging you. Wait, what? Lose relationships now. Yeah, this is a good time to cut off those people that were toxic in your life. All right, so we're looking at Averlorn versus the Tomb Kings. Let's see how it plays out here. Now, Felkon chose the Grey. I haven't seen the Grey chosen in forever. I forgot what their abilities are. Loic Shroud. Okay. They've got Snipe, Stalk, and Firewolf Moving, which is nice. I haven't seen them in so long. We're also going to see 2 units of Illyrian Reavers. We're going to see, a Star Dragon and a Lariel Radiant and 2 nobles, almost said princes, on chariots. Now the rest of his army went where? Oh my god, it went all the way over here. Oh, Felkon, you are so tricksy. 1, 2, 3 units of Dryads with the Shadow Warriors. More Shadow Warriors. This is going to be pretty insane. Now, for Flying Taco, he went with a very similar geometry to what he used in his match against Enticity. Used Sepulchral Stalkers, he's got his Casket of Souls, and then he's got his front line of Skeleton Spearmen and Warriors with a back line of Skeleton Spearmen. Now, he also has Cetra on the, not Necrophex Colossus, War Sphinx, with the spells, Nero's Incantation of Protection, Jaff's Incantation of Cursed Blades. We also see the dreaded Sphinx of Usef. That thing will do a ton of damage to the dragon, as well as these 2 units of Sepulchral Stalkers supported by the Ushabti. So this should be pretty interesting here. So he's, as Mezcal just said, no Hero Titan, swapped it out for the War Sphinx, and of course Usef. Let me sneeze. Oh man, the sneeze was there, then left. Whew! Ah! All right, let's see how this plays out here. At the last minute, Felkon kind of adjusted his army a little bit more. Things are... I think he's kind of taking the bearing, seeing what he can do with this. He's got to kind of move around this. Felkon, again, this is just a kind of a fun match between these 2 guys. All these people know each other. So if you do want to get involved in the tournament scene for Total War Warhammer, go ahead and check out the link to the Discord below. You can join Turin's weekly tournament Discord. I pull from there. So does he for his ECL, for his King of the Hills, all of his many tournaments. I pull there for my Flash tournaments, my WCCL. You can also find your way into my son Herbert Walker or Errol Krastix. That's a great way to get started. Meet a lot of people that are already invested in the scene and really get a good idea of what's going on. Bealtan Craftworld Exodites versus Space Mummies. You know, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Riverbank. I'd really like to see Exodites coming back into Warhammer 40k. For those who don't know, Eldar, an Exodite is an Eldar that has pretty much like taken a planet and said this is their planet rather than a craft world. And they usually have like, they ride like fucking dinosaurs. It's like watching like Beast Wars. It's ridiculous. All right, Shadow Warriors are moving into place here. We're going to have quite a long range. Remember, they do have 180 in a circular range here. So we're going to see them try and get some shots off on stuff. Eyes of the Desert do have stocks that will help them out. not get focused down right now, but we can focus on other nice, big, disgusting units. Casket of Souls getting plucked apart now. What else are not the worst faction? Dov Plays actually just released a recent video covering tiers right now. The Nero's Incantation of Protection, giving that 44% physical resistance against this onslaught over here. And then boom, Casket of Souls ripping into those Shadow Warriors, doing tons of damage into them. And the Grey as well. Felkon, though, just sticking to it. Pouring on to the Casket of Souls here, doing more damage to it. Sepulchral Stalkers now have a good target in that... this is the Moon Dragon? Oh, the Star Dragon here. Felkon's trying to get directly above that Casket of Souls to drop fire. Oh, got staggered and couldn't use his fire breath. Oh, staggered again. Star Dragon getting staggered too much by the Sepulchral Stalkers. Can they do it? Boom! A nice breath attack. Nails that Casket of Souls. Gets the Star Dragon out of the fight. You've got a L'Oreal here to heal up the Star Dragon at the last second. The Casket of Souls was only able to get one real good volley off. The rest of it was kind of used shucking and jiving and moving around to not try and get it. Oh, getting shocked down again by the Sepulchral Stalkers right in that dragon butt. We had a little charge in from the Noble into the front line of the Tomb Guard, trying to kind of pull apart that micro a little bit, and the Casket of Souls is now going to be destroyed. L'Oreal the Radiant, though, taking some shots in from Sepulchral Stalkers. Again, those guys do a lot of AP damage on their ranged attacks. Let's take a look at how much. There we go. 104 AP damage, so quite a bit coming out from them. Alright, so now that things have kind of cleared up just a little bit, they've taken out the Casket of Souls, so it's going to force the geometry to break apart from the Tomb Kings. There's nothing to defend anymore. They just kind of have to have a nice front line to deal with stuff. The Nobles are going to be the big thing here. They're going to have to be riding dirty throughout this entire fight to do a lot of damage to things. The Shadow Warriors are both going to get hit really hard by the War Sphinx and the Sphinx of Usech over here. We'll see how that pans out. Them Dryads jumping into these Skeleton Spearmen and also pushing over to the Tomb Guard, who shall be jumping onto this as well, using their AP attacks onto that high 60 armor, comparative to, of course, the very lack of armor on all the Skeleton Spearmen. Now, Shadow Warriors getting a good distance away from the War Sphinx and Usech, jumping right down here, though, onto the Sepulchral Stalkers, the Dragon over there, as well as the Noble and a L'Oreal. Everything jumping into this fight as well. We get the big Sphinx of Usech jumping over right over there to the Star Dragon, just swashbuckling, using his Edward Scissorhands right against that Star Dragon. He's got Usech's Incantation of Desiccation on him and Shield of Thorns, trying to mitigate that melee defense drop, but also increase that physical resistance boost. That is 8, that is magic and flaming damage coming out of that Sphinx of Usech. It's going to be so hard for that Star Dragon to get out of that engagement right now. L'Oreal's in bad shape too. She's been hit really hard by Usech. So right now, Felkon's in a pretty rough spot. Flying Taco's got a lot of really good value going on. He's got a very wounded Star Dragon here. His Sepulchral Stalkers got hit really hard from that big charge, and the Eyes of the Desert are in decent enough health right now. But I mean, take a look at that. L'Oreal's really feeling it. The Ushabti are getting wrapped up by these Illyrian Reavers. Nice breath attack down, and it doesn't seem to do too much. It was aiming on the Eyes of the Desert. Later, Nayar, thanks for joining in, man. Thank you again very much for your donation, brother. Realm of Souls going down in an Earthblood as well, trying to help stabilize this Noble, which is in a bad spot. I think our other Noble is fleeing out of that fight. And we have our Star Dragon, which is just barely hanging on by a thread. L'Oreal's pretty low in health as well. We have this unit of Sepulchral Stalkers, which is on the very edge here, about to crumble apart. But they're just pumping shots into that Star Dragon, man. Now, keep in mind here, Shadow Warriors, they're not the best combatants, but 47 and 41, that's pretty damn good. Especially against Skeleton Spearmen. They'll be able to do quite a bit of damage here. In the tabletop, you used those guys solely to shut down any kind of artillery piece, because they actually had pretty good combat stats. They had 5 weapon skill, if I can remember correctly, and they could shoot in between armored plates. The stalker shots were just confetti, like. And a nice Star of Avalorn, bringing a lot of health back here to this this pocket of single entity units, bringing that noble almost back up to full entirely. And Alarielle is near her healing cap right now, as she gets topped off a little bit by that Star of Avalorn. The other noble getting out of the engagement earlier and coming back online. He's still got a good amount of health here. The dragon is still pretty beat up, but a good regrowth or Earthblood is going to help bring that back online a little bit. Mel, it was a Vanguard unit. You would only use pretty much 5 of them. You'd deploy them later in the game. So a big jump here onto the Eyes of the Desert, trying to knock these guys down. There is still the Sphinx of Usef. One thing that Felkon likes to do here is that he likes to completely ignore big scary targets sometimes. He'll just let the thing do its part while he picks apart other more squishy targets. And that's what he's gone for. He's destroyed the Sepulchral Stalkers. He's putting them out of the fight, so there's ranged AP is no longer there. You can still see, though, the nobles are still in it to win it. They do have AP and anti-infantry, which is not going to be great against the War Sphinx and the Sphinx of Usef. But the real problem is that, Alarielle just squeezes out of that with 73 health left. Holy crap. I think he was terrified. She's coming back now. The Star Dragon is pretty beat up, and without the healing from Alarielle, I don't think that he's going to be able to stay in this fight. Can he get back up into the air? He does. We'll see if he can come back from that. The Star of Avalorn's been used twice. The Star of Avalorn is out of the fight, and the winds of magic are probably pretty low for Alarielle. Another breath attack down right here onto Cetra, trying to bring that health down. Brings out a good amount of health, but not a ton. And there are some returning elements of Tomb Guard, and oh man, just dropping right into it. 439 health there. Alarielle just now coming back. Arcane Conduit on her, trying to get back some winds of magic. The balance power bar is still at 50%. Cetra is all at his last little 1,800 points of health there. He's got his last bone in. The Shadow Warriors have been doing some serious work. 22 kills on these bros. 75 on those. The Grey were able to do some serious damage. One noble getting torn apart over there. Cetra is really holding on for dear life. These Eyes of the Desert, though, are still in the fight, and they're going to be able to do a lot of range damage to anything that goes to charge in and threaten Cetra. No. Mads, I'll show you. That's just unit icons. You just go ahead and turn that on, then press the lock button. The lock button makes it so that anytime you're not holding spacebar, it'll stay on. Coalescing for a quick Earthblood. Oh man. Nero's Incantation of Protection dropping down right there. A big swarm right onto Cetra. Can they knock him out? 100 and... Oh! It has 100 and some health. I can't find his health. 883. Everyone is so low over here. 633. The Star Dragon is down. Alarielle is down. The Noble, 103 health. Cetra is destroyed. Can the Noble do anything now? Nobles are gone, and I think that's going to be army losses for the High Elves. Felkon falls back now with a 1-1 Flying Taco versus Felkon. Woo! That was intense. There was a little bit of memeage in Felkon's army, but I think that there was a method to the madness. Had those not been Illyrian Reavers, and had they been something else, I think that Felkon would have had a little bit more staying power in that fight. But, damn, that was so glorious. Down to that last little bit, Cetra fell, Alarielle fell, the Star Dragon fell, and it was just kind of down after that. Whew! Next map is going to be the Ember Glade. Come on to those Ember Glades. All right, back on over to the bracket. Man, that was a great fight here. That was our game 2 of our finals here, best of 5. We have potentially three more matches to deal with here. See how that goes. Ugh. Oh man, Mel, it did pop up. I'm sorry. Let me say it. It pops up. Here, I'll show you. So this is the alert for someone who uses PayPal to donate.
I've only begun.
So that, if you guys use the link below, if you use that link, I get 100% of your donation. This is the super chat.
Not your soul. They don't.
If you use that link, if you use super chat, I get 70%. YouTube like garners like 30% of it because. But Mel, I did get you. It says $3. Keep up the good work, man. So thank you very much, Mel. I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you very, very, very much, man. All right, so it looks like we're going to be seeing. Ugh. Sorry. So Felkon picked the Dark Elves and banned Vampire Coast, and then Flying Taco selected the Skaven. Yeah, it might actually be a little bit less now, V-Claws. I'm not really sure, but it used to be that 30% of any super chat YouTube took for themselves. That might have changed. I gotta take a look. So if you were to donate $100, I would get 70 of it. Technically, I think. I don't know if that's changed. What? What percentage? Yeah, 30%. That's as of 2018. That might have changed in the last year or so. Yeah. $287 of you guys. I just looked it up, Zardar. It's 70%. Yeah, the Streamlabs link is the link for 100% donation. But guys, use whatever you want. I don't care. That's all fine and dandy to me. Any donations are huge. I'll get you the Streamlabs link for you. Here you go. No, that's not it. There you go. There you go. All right, Arthur, thanks for jumping in, man. Thanks for watching, brother. Yeah, Streamlabs is what goes to my PayPal. I call it the PayPal one. Alright, so Felkon's ready. We're on the Emberglades. It's 1-1 right now in the finals. So this is a best of 5. So we'll see how this progresses. Alright. They're both ready. Proceed to the next match. After this match, I gotta go downstairs and get some water because I am parched. Probably just enough to make it through this one. Got to keep those vocal cords lubricated. What's up, Dasoct? I just saw you here, man. That's true. Pacta was saying, honestly, though, the only memeing in Felkon's high elf build was the Shadow Warrior. 100% agree with you. The Grey, especially. I don't think I've seen them, like, taking them in a... Oh, excuse me, guys. We're just zoning it. We're loading in here. Pokemon Total War. Could you fucking imagine? Alright, so we're going to be seeing Felkon on the Dark Elves versus Flying Taco's Skaven. So it should be a fun little fight here. The Emberglids are a pretty interesting one. There's quite a lot of trees. There's quite a lot of different geography here, right? There's a lot of topography to that geography. Flipped off my shoe. Trying to see who's like more set up. I guess we'll talk a little bit about... kind of wait a little. All right. Then we'll talk about Flying Tacos. His is a little bit more set up. Whew, my God. And it's disgusting. So, a lot of Skaven slaves. A front line of Skaven slaves, followed by a secondary line of clan rats with spears. We're going to be seeing a Warlock Master. You don't get to see that guy too often nowadays. He's got the cool little globe. Get over there. Globe. You see your globe, you dirty bitch. There we go. The Brass Orb, as it is called. Also, of course, the Howling Warp Gale and Warp Lightning. We're going to be seeing 2 Hell Pit Abominations, bringing some anti-large and AP to the table. 2 units of Skaven Slave Slingers, as well as a back line of some Skaven, or some Clan Rat Spears. 1, 2, and 3. Followed by the Council Guard, supporting a big, awesome Plague Priest here. Plague Priest, of course, is just going to have his Summons and Pestilent Birth. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And then in the dead center, Warp Grinders, which will be nice because they'll be able to lock things down for the Hell Pit Abominations to jump on them and just beat them apart. So a nice little move there. Now for Felkon's army, Dark Riders with repeater crossbows, as to be expected. And we're going to see 2 units of Doomfire Warlocks, one of them being the Sinesh's Harvesters out, obviously. SW equals Star Wars or Stormwind, it's true. We're going to see Malekith as well with Soul Stealer, the kit to be expected. 1 unit of Cold One Chariots. And I'm surprised that I'm not seeing a single Chill of Sontar. But 1 unit of Dread Spears, a unit of 2 units of Dread Spears, 2 units of Bleak Swords, and then take a look at that, a Bloodrack Medusa. The Bloodrack Medusa just does not get enough play, I think. Zero chills, all Medusas. Oh. And then a backline of Dark Riders. So there's no weapons teams aside from the Warp Grinders in Flying Taco's army. And this should be a pretty fun... Oh, no, I'm sorry. There is a mortar. I was going to say, there's no mortars, which is interesting. But there it is. Mortars are coming down over here. I'm going to see them landing right there onto those Dark Riders. Now, the mortars, keep in mind, they do damage upon hit, but they also do persistent damage because they do a dot effect, a damage over time effect for those that are savvy with... Oh, another Dark Rider in that corner. That are savvy with their MMORPG terms. The Medusa is bringing all of her many snake-headed hair and many tentacles and tits over to the Skaven front line, ready to just drop some nipples on them using the big areolas of doom. We can see how that's going to pan out there. Kind of getting up in that face. Oof! So it was really cool to kind of talk to creative assembly. They showed us these things during the last ever chosen. I said, hey, this is the concept of these guys. Here's what we're working with. And the theory crafting, or not theory crafting, the idea behind like the of their blast is them basically gazing at something. That's supposed to be the gaze attack, and rather than it being like, you know, beams like a Hero Titan, it's supposed to be just like the Medusa kind of like throwing her gaze in that direction. It's a really cool little notion. I like it a lot. The Dark Riders Repeater crossbows are just taking the mortars in the face over here. Oof, a Warp Lightning dropping down on these Dark Riders over here. We had Malekith ripping into the Council Guard. A very good shot on them, doing about 50% health. A real just nuke of a blast. Dark Riders Repeater crossbows, though, shooting into these Skaven slaves. Looks like they're trying to get over here to these Warp Grinders, which now have Soul Blight on them, as well as Warp Quake dropping down to slow everything and its exodus from that big Quake attack. Now, Howling Warp Gale should be, locking down Malekith right there. The Dark Riders over in this corner have gotten a nice rear charge onto these Skaven slaves and was able to kind of thread that needle. And you can see the Cold One Chariots also pushing in very hard. So Felkon has had a nice, really opening salvo and return into Flying Taco. He's been doing a lot of really good burst damage immediately. A Pestilent Burst. Nope, just a normal Clan Rat Summon. Coming up over here next to the Doomfire Warlocks and Slaanesha's Harvesters. So Felkon's army is actually in pretty good shape after that big, huge first pull. Really got to say that was a very interesting kind of attack there. What's the male in Malekith? Now the shots coming out here from the Bloodrack Medusa. Now she's just shooting her blast. She's not the Regiment Renown version, which can do more. Oh no! Malekith is just was locked down by that Warp Quake there for a second, or the Seismic Snare. And you can see that these Hell Pit Abominations are bringing that AP damage to bear onto him. Howling Warp Gale keeping him down on the ground yet again. This swallowed a piece of my beard. That's not going to be too good for him. You got a lot of damage coming in. Ooh! Doom Bolt crashing down onto the Warlock Master, doing tons of damage. And look at this, man. Malekith is taking... Oh my god. How the hell is that? Malekith taking so much damage. And we see the brass orb over there going off onto the Doomfire Warlocks. Malekith's trying to get out of this fight, being chased by those Hell Pit Abominations. Warp Lightning dropping right here onto the Slaanesha's Harvesters. He's trying to get out of it. He's losing. His leadership is down. He's bucking wildly. He doesn't... I don't know if he can get out of this one. Oh! The bound ability from the Corpse Cart. Oh, that is not that. That is not that. The Plague Furnace going down, trying to get into these Dread Spears, not doing a ton of damage. But Malekith gets back up into the air by the grace of Slaanesh and is able to hopefully bring this one back around. Soulblight being dropped down onto these Clan Rats yet again, bringing some nice reduction to their armor. And I think it's been great here. Felkon's been able to use that to his advantage. He's Soul Stealer? No, Soul Stealer's, yeah. Over here, it's going to help bring his health up significantly. Oof. Slaanesha's Harvesters, though, are getting beat up. We're going to be seeing a breath attack here right onto this Hell Pit Abomination, probably. Oh, onto the Plague Furnace is what it looks like. He's lining up right over the single entity. This is how you maximize damage. Ooh, just missed that Hell Pit Abomination, it actually looks like. Just as that thing has its last shreds of health left, 1,000. It does have regeneration. It's going to be able to come back and help a little bit. Dark Riders, though, riding right through these unbraced Clan Rats over here, and these Doomfire Warlocks coming back around as well. Giving, what is this going to be? Another drop down? Uh-oh. Womp. Man. Did not do a lot of damage to the Plague Priest. It did a ton of damage to the Warlock Master earlier. Warlock Master, though, in terrible leadership situation going on. He's got a lot of stuff around him. They've got to just use these Dark Riders to try and take out that Warlock Master, or at least keep him from that fight. Gaze Mouse going down onto these Clan Rats in the back that were recently summoned up and ripping through them, doing tons of damage. And the Poison Wind Mortar looking to get away from this fight. Malekith's dropping down onto that Plague Furnace as well. The Council Guard around, giving that 15% physical resistance, and both of those big daddy Hell Pit Abominations jumping in as well, trying to bring that noise back onto Malekith. Malekith gets away from that and jumps back over to that Plague Furnace, and the Medusa is in there as well. Felkon has gotten a really good hold on this fight. He had a really strong initial surge that I think did a lot of really good morale shock to Flying Taco's army, but Flying Taco was able to really kind of consolidate and push back against that. He had the Pale Pit Abominations doing a lot of damage to Malekith, and then he used Howling Warp Gale to lock it down. A Seismic Snare earlier from the Warp Grinder too. So you can really see that Clan Rats do not have defense versus large if they are not braced. They were not braced in that instance. They took the charge right in the face, and even then, it has to be square in the front. If it's to the side of the front, they do not get their charge defense. But really, Flying Taco using those Hell Pit Abominations to threaten into Malekith was really clutch. It almost panned out 100% for him, and allowed him to take out Malekith, which would have been a huge boon. Malekith's Pestilent Breath just dumped tons of damage onto the Warlock Master, as well as that, what is the ability? The Dark... No. They must have another... the star, the big Doom Bomb. Can't think of it. It's on the Slanesh's Harvesters. Doombolt. Oh, they do have the ability. Yes. All spearmen have charge defense versus large. The more elite ones have expert. Who is the Warpstone champion? None of these gentlemen. Random Mix won our Warpstone Cup, but this is just a fun little flash tourney. Oof, that was a good fight, and I think that both builds were very strong, and I think that ultimately it just kind of came down to that moment with the Hell Pit Abominations. If that had actually gone off for... If Felkon was not able to get Malekith out of that, I think it would have been a much harder fight for him. Because then the Hell Pit Abominations could have threatened into the Medusa, they could have pushed into the Dark Riders. It would have been very interesting to see. Medusa, one love. Back to the bracket. Alright guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to fill this up with water. So give me 1 second. They're just choosing their armies and doing their bands right now. Our next map is Spite Reach. Right back. Woo! What's up, Border Collie? Do you think that the Kislev announcement will delay Warhammer 3 so they can have an upgraded roster? They'll upgrade it later with... No, I think that they'll coordinate with them. They'll say, hey, this is what we're going to add. This is what we're... Sorry. Reprocess. Called Areola. Poker Pope, you are so welcome. I think that Creative Assembly will talk with Games Workshop, and Games Workshop will say, hey, here's what we're adding to Kislev. Make sure it's in your game. Because it's not that Creative Assembly gets the, like, licensed to do whatever they want with this IP. Games Workshop is very invested in everything that Creative Assembly does, and they have to get the approval from Games Workshop to do anything. That's not just a Creative Assembly thing. That's in every single video game IP that's ever, or a video game that's ever tried to use the IP of Games Workshop. It's always been like that. They are very, very intimate with the development process. What are you adding now? What's being put into the game? Let me know. Let me know. Like Mark of Chaos talked about how like hand in hand they were the entire time with Games Workshop, and a number of other people. War is a really good one. You know, Warhammer Age of Reckoning. Every step of the way they were there. Ooh, okay, so. Ooh, excuse me, guys. So Flying Taco is choosing the Pirates of Sartosa, the Vampire Coast. And then Felkon is choosing Dwarfs. Woo! Guys, I'm not going to be surprised. Like, I think that the release date for Warhammer 3 is going to be Q3 or Q4 of 2021. You have to remember, there's people like Andy who are former writers of Games Workshop, so they're intimate. They know all the stuff that's going on. No, I think we'll get an announcement this year. I think we'll probably get an announcement in August or September. If not, like, I don't think early 2021 tanks. Maybe. I think. No, I bet you it's actually probably going to be May. It might be May, because May is like one of their holdover months. I bet you we're going to see the DLC for this in May, because Three Kingdoms came out in May. Warhammer 2 came out in September, but Warhammer 1 came out in May. May is a big time for Creative Assembly because it's the beginning of their fiscal year. So they want to kind of come out with a bang. Cries in Portuguese. Yeah, I bet you Troy will be like Troy will probably be like a mid to late summer thing. Because they also like to do stuff in August, September. Like, that's a big thing for them, too. Oh, hell yeah, Josh. Josh Hollis said, if Games Workshop is making new units, it means way more DLC for them. Dacklemore coming in with the soothsaying, saying the winner will be someone whose name starts with an F. I'm going to play Troy pretty hard. I'm excited for Troy. Just because I like that era. They both readied up and they didn't, so what's going on here? I think Felkon's making some last minute adjustment. So again, Felkon is going to be playing the Dwarfs against Flying Taco's Pirates of Sartosa, which means we'll probably see the Sartosan militia. Matt Ross, I think that's a fair assessment. Do you think anything from Total War Warhammer will make it back into Warhammer the Old World? For example, Games Workshop uses Vampire Coast Army List or models from Total War Warhammer for an updated tabletop V Coast. I think very much so. I think that's a very possible situation. Yeah, exactly. Let's call it. Games Workshop approved all the Coast designs, so they must like them. So I bet you it'll probably kind of go back and forth like that. Remember, Vampire Coast is the first time that Games Workshop has told another company, come to us with your designs and we'll do that. Like, that's huge. That's so huge. The allied contingent for Vampire Coast and the White Dwarf had some kind of hodgepodged models that were kit bashed, but it didn't have anything massive. The Rotting Leviathan was I'm trying to remember what the Rotting Leviathan was. What the kit bash was. The deck droppers were Fellbats and zombies with Empire stuff mashed onto them. Scurvy dogs were the dire wolves. The Terrorgeist was Death Street Terrorgeist was just kind of done differently. It was just a description in White Dwarf? Okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember if they had done anything with it. Well, the Rotting Leviathan... No, the Rotting Leviathan was also in the White Dwarf crisps. And the Rotting Leviathan is actually different in the description than in the depiction of the game. The Cyrene was a hero unit, was not an actual set unit. So it's kind of different how they've interpreted it, and I think it works better. I think Cyrenes as a Banshee unit is a little bit cooler than just having another Banshee. It helps differentiate a little bit from Vampire Counts. On that note, let's take a look at what we got. So, oh fuck. Flying Taco's got some memes. So we're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Sartosan Free Company. Then we're going to see 1, 2, 3 Mournguls, 2 Scurvy Dogs, a Bloated Corpse, Bombers, and then Big Queen Bess. Over here, as far as our leadership goes, we're going to be seeing Araness Assault. Fuck, damn it, Taco. You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? I know you're doing it on purpose. Araness Assault Spite. She's going to be coming to the board, as well as a Vampire Fleet Captain of Vampires, bringing the Drowned Dead as well as Invocation of the Heck. In the far corner, though, we're going to also see another Bloated Corpse, the Deck Gunners, and some of those Mournguls have been moved over here. Now, for Felkon's geometry, we're going to see Trollhammer Torpedoes, we're going to see 2 units of Iron Drakes, we're going to see a front line of Dwarf Warriors. You don't need much more than that. Then some Quarrelers to fire over things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Quarrelers. And then 3 units of Slayers in the back line with, Dwarf Warriors. So Slayers, Dwarf... Oh, 50% of that unit just completely smashed apart. Thorgrim, Grudgebearer himself, is on this Throne of Doom with some Longbeards. One thing I actually found out today... Oh, Iron Drakes are already just melting through over there. Woo! Aaron Dembski Bowden on Facebook mentioned that Thorgrim Grudgebearer, when he's fighting, he checks the Book of Grudges mid-fight. I did not know that. Iron Drakes pumping hot flame into the Sartosan Militia, taking them out already. Woo! Dwarf rushing versus an arty build must be opposite day. Each launch that Queen Bess is rough. Longbeard's getting cooked up a little bit. Getting another summon up of Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs. Mournguls looking to do some sweeping in here. Now, Mournguls are going to be strong because they have AP and anti-infantry. The Bombers going to hit into these Slayers over there. They're going to bank right, go right for these Mournguls, get some anti-large action to them, just their jowls flapping in the wind. But Bombers are so devastating, man. Oh! Into the Quarrelers. Every shot from Queen Bess. Uh-oh, Thorgrim, you're not in a good place, bro. He's looking at that book. He's charging, he's wailing, he's crying, and Aranessa is just chopping into him. Spearfisher's Net, dropping that melee defense down to... Oh, it was at 62, so we'll drop it down to 38. Quarrelers shooting over here into Queen Bess, which is going to lob a short one right into those Quarrelers that are stacked on top of each other. Bam! Gets a 2-for-1 right there. Felkon trying to kind of keep his line straight right now, but he's got Sartosan Free Company in there. He's getting a nice flame attack from the Iron Drakes onto this Vampire Fleet Captain. But it is going hot and heavy. Whew. dwarf warriors have moved into these zombie pirate bombers, though, which is good. Doesn't want to deal anymore with those bombs going down range. The Sartosan Free Company, though, have moved into the back onto these quarrelers, looking to do some quick damage with them. Now, they do have anti-infantry. That's going to help them out in this engagement, too. They also have their cool little Perfect Vigor situation here with Rowdy. Thorgrim, oh, okay, over here. Okay, all right. Gets away from Aranessa's Assault Spite. Comes to help out his front line. Got some scurvy dog action still to deal with. The Queen Bess is now out of ammunition. Oh, no. She still has quite a little bit more. No, I was right. I'm drunk. I'm not really drunk. Morngul's over here eating up some of these Slayers. Slayers returning it in kind, though, and chopping into these Morngul's. Felkon pushing the advantage as best he can, though, wrapping up the fleet captain of vampires with some more Slayers. These bombers, though, are going to make some short work of them, chucking downrange into the Dragonback Slayers and doing tons of damage into them. Woo! Look what's coming down that range. Iron Drakes. We got more Quarrelers. Got all sorts of action. Iron Drakes pouring it on over here into this gunnery mob of bombers. The deck gunners over here, they're just finally starting to shoot. This is another unit that was kit bashed in the White Dwarf. Actually shooting into the Iron Drakes to pretty good effect too. Vengeance! They've wronged us! Aranessa's still in pretty decent enough health right now, but she's got a horde of Slayers and Warriors on her back. Got some Iron Drakes and Quarrelers still shooting things apart. Dealing with some of these Scurvy Dogs which have jumped back onto these Slayers here. And a whole other unit of these Sartosan Free Company. Those Trollhammer torpedoes are probably going to do a pretty devastating amount of shots into them. Oof! And another unit of Morgul's I totally forgot about, too. That was over there on that other side. The fleet captain of the fleet admiral of fleet captain of vampires is still in good health, though probably low in winds of magic now at this point. There's still a unit of Morngul's to deal with, and they're going to be quite a hassle. Queen Bess, okay, does still have some ammunition, so if they can come, they can sneak back onto that. They can do some serious damage. There is still a bloated corpse right there. Uh-oh. Let's follow this bloated corpse. Oh no, that bloated corpse has got a target. Every dog's over here trying to harass the Trollhammer torpedoes, being reinforced by some warriors over there. Aranessa's Assault Spite, though, right up on Thorgrim's butt here. Ooh, this is not looking good for Thorgrim. Aranessa, though, just got completely caked by the Iron Drakes going wild, by the Quarrelers going wild. It's down to it right here between these two. Oh! Can they kill that thing before it goes off? Just in time, I think they'll get it. There we go. Aranessa's Assault Spite taking her last shots here. See a shot, take a shot. Take a shot, pass a shot. Whatever is going on Instagram these days. Aranessa is shattered, though. 240 health left as the vampires are now starting to dwindle and crumble away. That was a pretty hard-fought fight. It was an interesting build. Definitely an interesting build. Queen Bess is back online, though. Using those final shots to kind of shoot into those Quarrelers. And we still have this unit of Morngul's, though. And the deck droppers, or deck gunners, are still... They're edging off the remainder of their health, though. Woo! Thorgrim's hanging on by 565 health. And they've destroyed Queen Bess itself. And it is a win for Felkon. Pushing up 3-1. And is now the winner of our little flash tournament here today. Woo! That was pretty hot. That was pretty crazy. Taking a look here at that fight. That was pretty interesting from Flying Taco. Using those Sartosan Free Company to really kind of try and wrap around things. The Bloated Corpses, of course, didn't really get off, unfortunately. But some good kills from these Morgungls. And, of course, Queen Bess just dropping the bombs. Now the Iron Drake's doing some roasting and toasting, as well as some kills in from the Slayers on those Morgungls. Woo! Go to the bracket. Let me go ahead and roll the credits here too. So guys, thank you so much for watching here today. We're going to be playing Doom here tomorrow. Let me see if... that was game 4. Right? Am I... 1, 2, 1, 4. Yeah, that was game 4. That was game 4. Okay. I was like, wait, what? So guys, thank you so much for watching here today, and thank you very much for your donations. We had tons of donations here today, so I really I didn't update it because it was the final one, but Felkon just got the 3rd win. But guys, thank you so much. Let me give some shout outs here, of course, to Mel Garrettson, Flying Dutchman, Cincinnati, Nayar, Riverbank, Crisps. Guys, thank you all very much for your donations today. You guys donated so much across all of you. What was it, like 33, about $40 between everyone. And thank you guys. Like I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Like it's so huge. So Turn will be streaming in just a little bit. Him and Lord Master Sotek will be playing their head-to-head campaign. So if you want to see Lord Skrulk, jump onto that. See it on Turns or on Lord Master of Sotek stream. But thank you guys all very much. And Borg Cube, let me go back to your message, man. It was very nice. Let me look at it. It says, woo, so much hope right now. Thanks to everyone who is out there helping keep society afloat. Got tears when the UK clapped for the NHS? I don't know what NH's is. But so thank you. And now Burning Gobos, you're awesome, Italian Spartacus. Thank you very much, Board Cube. I really appreciate it, man. And don't thank me. Thank all those are actually like on the front lines doing like... Oh, NHS, National Health Service. Okay. I thought it was like NH plural. But guys, stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Stay inside. We shall make it through this together, my brothers. I got a video coming up here tomorrow, though, for either the Arcane Phoenix or the Colossal Squig. I haven't decided which one I'm going to do. And then we'll have a list video over the weekend, as well as some more stream, guys. I'm glad I could bring you guys laughter and help take your minds off of it. You guys help me just as much. Yeah, guys, expect another stream here tomorrow around the same time. We'll be playing Doom Eternal with a video that's going to go up as well for probably the Colossal Squig, or another unit that I'll be doing like a unit speculation thing for. And then we'll do some more streaming throughout the weekend and just having some more fun with you guys. But as always, thank you so much for watching here today. We had a huge turnout. I think we had like 300 people at the peak of the stream. So thank you guys very much for watching, liking the stream, donating if you did, subscribing if you did. Really appreciate it, guys. But as always, have a good one and take care.